Everyone, I promised that I would put something together, explain some of the issues Texas defense was having and how they can change those issues to be successful going forward in Big 12 play. So some of the things Texas has really struggled with against the run is their gap responsibilities and maintaining contain. And we're going to talk about some things, some adjustments that Todd Orlando has made in the past to fix those issues, and he can carry those forward into this year. There's a few things he did at Houston, some things he did early in his career at Texas that can help him out. I'm going to talk about the pass coverage in read and man, where we've blown some coverages, and I'm going to talk about how to get more pressure on the quarterback. So first, I'm going to talk about pass coverage. And one of the things Texas has struggled with is the safeties biting on double moves from the slot receiver. So there's a couple different pass coverages that we can run out of this look. You can run your standard zone. You can run cover 2, cover 3. You can run man. But one of the coverages I really like is cover 6, where you have a half to the boundary side, a quarter for the field side safety, and a quarter for the field side corner. So these, to the field side, you have 2 men deep, each taking a quarter of the field. The boundary safety has this half of the field deep. And what he's really looking for is if number 2 to the boundary runs vertical, he is going to have to take him vertical. He has a man. If he doesn't run vertical, he's getting over the top of number 1 looking for a deep route. The corner knows that if number 2 is vertical, he has to go vertical with number 1. If number 2 does anything but go vertical, the corner can sync with number 1, watching for anything to the outside, whether it's number 2 or maybe the fullback coming into the flat, and he can take that. If anybody runs any wheel route, let's say this H-back runs a wheel route, he has to run vertical with that wheel route as well. So that's your deep coverage in cover 6. Now we'll talk about the underneath coverage. You basically got the linebacker to the boundary side, whoever that is, and we'll talk about why it's drawn up like that in a minute. Has one hook to curl. The Mike linebacker has hook to curl to the field side. The nickelback has the flat to the field side. And you can run the B-backer back into coverage and drop 8 as well. I'm not going to talk about that. Or you can rush the B-backer and rush 4. So let's talk about the run defense here and how we're adjusting. So in the base defense, the rover would be in the middle of the field, and he doesn't have a gap responsibility. And the B-backer would be back to the boundary side, and he would play force to the boundary side. So I've moved my B-backer to the field, head up on a tight end against 11 personnel. So if there's 11 personnel in the game, that B-backer is going to mirror this tight end. If the tight end's to the boundary, he would line up to the boundary. He is going to create a collision with the tight end and have C-gap. Now, because I've moved the B-backer into C-gap, he no longer has force. So my rover now has to go to the boundary side and be the force player. This is something Texas did a lot in 2017 with Jason Hall as the joker in dime package, and I think this could work to really fix some of their defensive struggles with contain here. I also want to talk about fit personnel in this package. I really like number 50, Byron Vaughn here. He played a pretty good game last week. He does a really good job of controlling his tight end on the line of scrimmage and maintaining his C-gap responsibility, or last week he was the force player. Number 6, Juwan Mitchell in the middle. And that allows Joseph Asai to play this rover, and he can do a lot of things out of that position, including blitzing, which we'll talk about in a minute, which will help with the pass rush. Now, if this H-back is not a slot receiver to the boundary, I will indeed move the rover right here to the line of scrimmage, and he can play off the line of scrimmage there. Or if there's a tight end surface, he can play a little closer to the line of scrimmage there as well. Your nickelback is your force player to the field side. Another thing Texas struggled with was the zone read type of play. So against the zone read, these 4 guys in here are taking away these 4 inside gaps. And they are going to play that responsibility. The B backer has quarterback. If they don't block him for a zone read here, he is going to take the quarterback. That will give the quarterback a give read, and the running back is going to run in there, and these 4 guys will make the play. If the running back bounces outside, the rover is still there as the force play to turn it back in. And if he tries to cut back, there should be personnel coming to take those cutback lanes. And hopefully the quarterback doesn't really give us a fake where the B backer is going to tackle him. So he should be in that play as well. And the nickelback will also take quarterback. And if there's any pitch man, the nickelback will play quarterback to pitch. The safety and the cornerback to this side have pitch, but they also have to understand the RPO. If anybody releases into an RPO route, they have to stay deep and take away those RPOs. So I'm not drawing them up in the run game. So that's one adjustment Texas can make to really get more size on the line of scrimmage, still take away the inside gaps, create poor angles for that inside zone, create poor angles for the power, put some personnel out here to make the quarterback keeper on the zone read, shore up that read for the defense, and also to keep the counters, the outside zone, things like that from getting outside where they can break contain.